Right on, writers, and welcome to the Books by Adrian Author platform. I am Adrian Santiago. I am your host. I am an author. I write books. I wrote this book. Mythic is a sci-fi fantasy series. Shadow the Spark is a murder mystery in that world. Kicks off the whole series. You can get the short story prologue for free on my newsletter. Go sign up, booksbyadrian.com. And what's up, nose miners? How y'all doing? We're going to have a little fun today. We're going to talk about Preptober. We're going to talk about NaNoWriMo. We may or may not do writing sprints. I don't know. We're playing it by ear. I'll put it in the chat as a poll. Everybody can vote on it. And we're going to have a good old time. We have lots and lots of awesome people in the room with us, so we're going to waste no more precious moments. Let's go. Look at all these beautiful people on the screen with me. Isn't this bananas? Hello, all. Let's go one by one in clockwise order. Martin, who are you?
This stream is bananas. BNNAAS.
You don't know how to spell bananas.
I write space operas. And everyone's title card is getting cut off by the.
I'll do something about that.
Check out the McMurdo Rift. It's really quite fantastic. And book 3 is out at the end of the year.
Bethany, who is you?
Hi, I am Bethany Vota. I write short story collections and mystery thrillers. And I'm in and out of AuthorTube in the sense that I like to hop on other people's streams. It's so fun. And yeah, that's about it. I'm excited. It's like the first time back after a while. See if I remember how to do this.
We'll find out together. Emma, what is you?
Hey, I'm Emma Bennett. I'm a UK-based writer of contemporary romance and Regency romance and children's picture books, and apparently non-fiction books for writers. And I'm also a freelance developmental editor and a writing coach. And I have a YouTube channel, which is something like Emma Bennett, author or writer or romance or something like that. And I'm very happy to be here.
You also have a voice that's like silky butter. Andy, why are
Thank
you?
you.
Why am I? Hi, I'm Andy. I run the channel Soft Pub with Andy on YouTube. That's basically most of what I do, sharing videos about my experiences and anything I like to share, like knowledge-wise and self-publishing. That's mostly been the focus. I'm a non-fiction author, but I am transitioning into fiction. So stay tuned for that. In fact, why don't you pop over to my channel, subscribe, so you can follow my journey? That's me.
Why don't y'all pop over to all of these channels who are not linked below, because I didn't know they would be here today until a few minutes ago, but they will be linked on the replay. So, but you know who they are and how to find them. Google.
I
Google is
feel
a
like
thing.
Emma and Andy could save each other a lot of time by just writing fiction and non-fiction in exchange.
or use the nonfiction to write the fiction, right? I do that. I'll take like stories and events. Martin does that, I know. He'll take like historical events and use them to inspire his fiction. So yeah, just dive right into it, y'all. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. We were supposed to have a regular episode of The Writer's Den today with a regular guest, but he had a scheduling conflict. Something happened. Something came up. He had to reschedule. So we're going to have fun together. We're going to have a little chit chat. Just feeling the temperature of the room. Sprints or no sprints today? What do you think? Yay or nay?
Sprint.
Nah.
Sprint? Was that
I'm up for anything.
Up for any?
I'm gonna go with the majority because I may have to hop off at some point.
All right. So like 3 of you are absolutely no help whatsoever. Thank you, Emma, for having an opinion. I appreciate that. All right. So let's see. Oh, Nicole didn't think that she'd be able to be here, so it's very nice to see you here. Hello.
Hey, what's up, Buttercup?
Welcome. Let's have a good old time then. Let's see. Anything new or exciting going on in people's lives? No.
Pick me,
Okay,
pick me.
moving on. Okay,
Pick me,
Emma.
pick me.
Yes.
Pick me. My Christmas book is out tomorrow. It's called A Christmas Truth, and it's only 99p as ebook on Amazon from tomorrow. And you can pre-order it today in case you really, really, really want it as soon as it goes to 1 minute past midnight.
I am digging the excitement and the energy. Let's get that rolling for Emma. Okay,
Love
cool.
that. Give us what are some of the tropes? I want like give us the top 2 tropes.
Okay,
in the
we
book.
have
Sales pitch.
Grumpy the Sunshine. We have Forced Proximity.
Yes.
Okay, and we've got a really, really hunky hero who is also filthy rich.
Perfect. Okay, sign me up.
Yeah.
Like those rich guys, don't you, Emma?
I do like the rich guys.
Filthy rich. What could go wrong, huh?
I'm sure they're all decent fellows. Okay. So, how many of us are participating in NaNoWriMo next month?
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do my best.
All right, we got 3 solid yeses. Andy, I can't see your hand.
There's a good book you can read on it if you need tips.
I'm not gonna be doing Nano formally, but I am doing stuff for during Nano, so it won't be a complete waste.
Yeah,
He's a rebel.
Mine is,
He's a nano rebel.
Mine is also like adjusted. You know, it's NaNoWriMo-ish because I'm technically writing 5 short stories and putting them all into a little collection. So technically, I am writing a book. It's just made up of 5 stories.
That's 50,000 words. Get it? That's fine.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where they go.
10K per. I think that makes sense. You know, knock them all out.
It's like true short story. Me, I'm like, 2,000 words. That's long. Like I gotta change I need to make my short stories actually short stories instead of like flash fiction.
Bethany, 2,000 words is my opening paragraph. I can't do anything with 2,000 words.
I feel like I've just spent so much of my writing career like writing short things that like a full short story, which is generally about 15,000 words, feels like a freaking novel to me at this point. Like,
because even your novel is fairly brisk, you know.
Yeah.
Nice.
Tracker used to be like twice the size. I did cut a lot of stuff, so you know.
It didn't feel like it did. I did love it. It didn't feel like it did much.
Oh, thank you.
It was good.
Fun.
Martin, what will you be working on for NaNoWriMo? You raised your hand.
I am working on a military sci-fi trilogy, which may or may not be called Battleship Trafalgar.
Which I have heard a lot about and I'm very, very excited about.
Yeah, when I first sort of was breaking it and it wasn't quite coming together, I made you sit down for an hour whilst I told you the whole story, and you were just like, "That's the most perfect story I've ever heard! Don't change a thing!" And I'm like, "No, it's not there yet."
I don't really remember saying it quite like that. I feel like you're really like...
That was exactly how you say it.
You're like paraphrasing.
Adrian
doesn't
puts
sound like me at all.
when he's on air.
I would...
Like, you talk to him backstage, and he just sounds like a cowboy.
Howdy, folks!
It's all for branding
Yes,
purposes.
the hat and Stetsons and everything. It's kind of extreme.
I did like the idea, though, very, very much so, and I can't wait to read more. You also have another project in mind that I've heard a lot about that I really want to see really, really soon, so I hope that you do that one, too. Emma, what are you working on for NaNoWriMo?
Well, I kind of have to do NaNoWriMo because I just released a book about how to win NaNoWriMo. So it seems that part of the marketing for this would be that I actually do NaNoWriMo. I'm going to be writing my Christmas book for next year. I've got a book coming out in the spring, one coming out in the summer, and then another one that's commissioned for next Christmas. And that's the only one that isn't written. So that is what I'm going to be writing.
Track. Oh my goodness.
Emma, the book factory over here, like putting us all to
Do you not worry that Christmas is too competitive? Maybe you should break out a niche for like Shrove Tuesday romances.
Yeah.
Unless it is a Christmas book, though. If it's a Christmas themed book,
it's the most Christmassy book ever.
Yeah, then there's only one time a year to release said Christmassy book, and that is during Christmas.
Best time to write it too.
I'm writing it to spec because my publishers said they wanted a Christmas book with dogs. So I'm like, okay, I can write a Christmas book with dogs.
I've got Tracker on my to be listened to. You're an audiobook guy. Hi, Andy.
Yeah, I prefer I prefer like physical books, paperback, hardcovers.
Good, me too.
If I can. But I'm going to be getting Tracker on audiobook from library.
Oh,
And I
fun.
will obviously leave a review if and when I get around to it.
Oh, thank you. And if you want to buy Tracker, it's on my Ko-fi for, is it Ko-fi or Ko-fi? The audiobook's on there for $1. I finally escaped Amazon's, clutches with that book. I'm trying to get Scribbles off because they like set the prices. It's this whole thing. But if you want the audiobook,
I will do that right now.
He will too. I will do that later, but I will do it.
Yeah, but I like the narrator that he did a great job. The idea, people ask, they're like, "Oh, did you narrate the book?" And I'm like, it's painful editing my own writing. I can't imagine what it would be like editing my own voice. Like, I know my limits.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Editing audio is not as easy. I mean, recording the audio itself is actually quite difficult.
Yeah,
people don't realize. Like, you have like the ups and downs of the tones, and then if you have multiple characters, you got to get into character. So that's anyway. It's a whole thing, right?
Not my niche. That is something I will hire out for.
I've pretty much figured out that I'm probably never doing an audiobook myself because I'm putting together a new trailer for the book, and it's the trailer for the most part is nearly finished, but I want to add voiceover, and I've recorded my voiceover 3 times, and all 3 times I can't do it. Like, I gotta start over. It's no good. Doesn't work.
We had that whole conversation where you were like, "Yeah, man, I got my male voice down, my female voice down. I'm gonna be such a good narrator."
All right, so
that's exactly how you sounded, obviously.
So, do I have a Southern accent? Is it Australian? I'm not really. It's well.
Martin needs to work on it.
Really, I should do no yoik.
No yoik.
I'm walking here.
Martin, I suggest you need to master the Welsh accent.
Bad.
Do the Welsh accent first. One step at a time, bro.
Walk before you can run, buddy. Let me pull up a sprint timer here in case we're going to go that route. All right, so for those of you not working NaNoWriMo officially, Andy, looking at you, and possibly maybe Bethany looking at you, what are you guys working on these days instead?
Ladies first.
What a gentleman.
I'm only like 3 weeks postpartum, so I'm still just like in survival mode.
There it is! Bethany just had a baby!
I had a baby!
I didn't know if I could say that. I was screaming. Look at the baby!
Yeah.
We'll shake it.
Sweetest ever.
She's absolutely milk drunk. It's great. No, it's been fun.
So out of it.
I like it. It's just like the Lion King.
So great. Perfect. She's so tired. So like I feel pretty good, but then also I also feel like a zombie at the same time. So, but I like get this high off of the NaNoWriMo spirit, and I don't want to miss out. So I'm gonna try and write a first draft for one of my pen name books because it's a little bit more fleshed out. And this month I'm just focusing on closing up a few projects, like the prequel to Tracker. I would love to finish up and then publish either end of November or like for a fun little like newsletter gift in December. So be on the lookout for that. I'm in the final stages of editing that. So I'll be jumping between editing and then fast drafting a first draft because I just love the NaNoWriMo spirit and it just gives me the extra push I need. And so I will not miss out, but also I will not be surprised if I don't hit 50,000 words. So we'll see.
Neither will anyone else. You have a baby.
Yeah. Yeah. So fun though.
Andy, how about you, bud?
I'm going to be practicing writing fiction. So that's my big goal for Nano. I will be practicing, because it's my first time writing fiction. I've been doing 5-minute sprints for the last 5 days. I got to do one today. Just getting into it, really, and reading fiction and all that kind of good stuff. I'm nowhere near able to write a full book, and if I did, it would be absolute rubbish. So I'm going to focus on trying to, practice my craft a bit.
What's funny, though, is that it's really not up to you whether or not it's rubbish. It's up to everybody who reads it. You just got to write it.
Oh, no, this is really bad. Emma's seen some of my writing. It's like...
It's not really bad at all, but I'm not allowed to edit.
No, you're not allowed to edit. But let's face it, this is the first time I'm writing fiction, and it's like anything, right? the first
Yeah.
time you do something. It's possible that you'll be a bestseller overnight. That is always possible, but it's probably unlikely. So I'm gonna go with I'm not the 1.1% of humanity. I'm more like the the little gunk at the end, like the 0.1 at the bottom. So I'm gonna have to practice a lot. You know what
But
I mean?
again, being a bestseller doesn't necessarily mean something is good. There have been really great books that have not sold, as many copies, and there have been terrible books who have become bestsellers, man. So like that's not the gauge of success either.
And it takes
Um,
years too. There's books that have been on the market, like out for 10, 20 years, and then finally they, get their
Now,
rebirth essentially.
all that being said, I'm glad that you're stretching your legs, man, getting into some fiction. I'm anxious to read some of it. I think it's going to be pretty good. I'm excited.
Yeah,
Keep at it, bud.
I'll get there. I'll get there. I'll get there. Just need a bit of practice, maybe a lot of practice. We'll see.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Right on. All right. So, shall we do a little warm up sprint? Get some words down. All right. Little 15er. Sound good?
Sure, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, 15er it is. Let's. Nope. That's not. Nope. Nope. All right. I'm figuring it out. There we go. That's it. And away we go. All right. Happy writing. How'd it go, guys?
Pretty good.
I'm in
Very
the
good.
process of taking notebooks and notebooks of notes and turning them into index cards that will be my outlines. So that's what I'm doing. It's going good.
I feel pretty good. It's like the first time I've sat down to like actually write something new instead of edit something old, and it feels good. It feels like NaNoWriMo's just around the corner.
Oh, it is. Like
It's
just
beginning
around
to
the corner.
feel a lot like Nano.
No.
We got 1 week, right? That's it.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. 1 week tomorrow. Yikes. I hope everybody's ready. You guys think have you been using Preptober to like do the thing, the outlines and all the prep work?
Trying to. We'll have to see if it's actually worked. I didn't do enough last year for it and ended up having to spend way too much time working out different scenes and stuff during Nano, and it kind of slowed me down quite a lot. So I'm hoping that I'm doing better this year. But having said that, I was chatting to Martin yesterday because my entire writing output was trying to work out how sleeper trains worked from London to Edinburgh and how I was going to write about it as I'd never been on one. And then realizing that you can just take a regular train and it takes like 4.5 hours. And then I poured myself a glass of wine to celebrate that I didn't have to write about sleeper trains, and that was it.
Success.
Success, yeah.
Yeah.
Moderate success.
I like it.
I was just going to recommend a Bond movie.
Getting a train involved in one way or another. Yeah. Actually, Mission Impossible too. Lots of trains. Let's see. What are people doing in the chat? We'll focus on finding my writing space. Everything else, I need to rebel. All these rebels. All right. A little encouragement, a little positivity. I like it.
Thank you, Eloise.
Ms. Ward, feel better?
Yeah.
Wine does sound good. I wish I had some. I do not. I had some on my birthday, though. It was very nice. It was a good
It looked
dinner.
like you had a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Very fancy.
My wife and I haven't had like an actual date since like my firstborn was 3. Like it's been years at this point
Aw.
since we actually like left the children with someone else and went off on our own. So yeah, much needed. It was great. We had plans and those plans fell through, and I was really bummed out. And then what we ended up doing was so much better, and I had a much better time, and everything worked out for the best. So I was very happy. It was good times. Good times. All right. So, did anybody count word counts or anything like that? Is that a thing for you guys right now? It's Preptober, probably not, right?
No, I'm just kind of planning out the scene at the moment.
Yeah.
Trying to work out, like my heroine's, she's very artistic, but she's had to stop doing her arting when her mother got sick, and she hasn't really done any. So I'm kind of trying to like build it up during the novel, how she's like rediscovering her artistic
return to the art.
tendencies and her love of art. So
Aw.
that's kind of what I was working on there.
Fun.
That's cool. That sounds like a real pick me up. That sounds good. I want to read that. Yeah, mine is just. We were saying earlier that you're not sure if you've outlined enough. I feel the same. Like I don't know if when all these index cards are done, if they're enough. But we'll see. Trying to get 5
It's so
completely
easy
separate
to outline
standalone
something and just
stories.
write.
Sorry, I was trying to get 5 completely different like standalone stories, but they all have to progress the greater narrative of the series. Like I want it to, have the momentum of the novel. They should feel like chapters, POV chapters taken out of the novel. So it's an interesting challenge to like make them all like follow a theme and like fit into the whole like a short story collection. Martin, I'm sorry, you were saying about the outline.
It's so easy to just write something like "they fight" and then pat yourself on the back for getting the outlining done, and then you come to write it, and you're just like, "Who thought this was something you could work from? This is ridiculous."
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I've got nothing here. There's no emotion behind the fight. I don't know where they are. Yeah.
Yeah, I just hit that with I was adding a couple of scenes to the prequel, and my note was expand this, and I'm like, expand what? What did I need to expand? I don't
So like
know.
present you is looking at past you and it's like expand this, you know,
But like past me was like, yes, great edit note. This is great.
expand this.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. I've done my work for the day.
Yeah.
You just want to grab your past self and just say, "I'm not disappointed. I'm just angry."
Yeah, or like I had a note to myself that was like, something's not working here, figure it out. And then under the note was like, LOL, sorry, future Bethany. And it's like, okay, well, at least like past me knew I was being dumb. Like,
That's very good. I like that.
so it's fine.
That's nice. That's funny. Yeah, my outlines tend to be very vague like that, where I go over like the broad strokes of like the tent poles of the story, and then I'm just like, you'll figure it out when you're writing. It'll be easy. Sure. Then you're banging your head against the wall.
Yeah, I'm actually hoping that my outlines will actually be decent, because from the nonfiction side, I'm actually quite detailed in my outline, which is where I'm approaching my fiction things. So I'm going to be plotting, and I'm basically using Save the Cat beats, and I'm going to plot according to the beats, and then I'll just probably shift things around, like have arrows, this goes here, and then I'll flesh it out along the way. But yeah, I hope the plotting will help with the writing, and by the sounds of what I'm hearing from everyone, it should, provided there is enough detail instead of insert something here.
Yeah. There were parts of my outline for the first novel that I was quite proud of when I came to writing those sections where I was like, I kept the keys going because I had done the legwork, and there were other chapters where I was lost at sea, man, and I was just trying to figure it out as I was writing the prose. So yeah, the more detail, the better. I definitely intend for the next novel to have a much more solid outline. Yeah, the
It's
prep
funny.
work's necessary.
Well, it's just funny how like I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but like each book you write, your outline is your process is just different. So like with Tracker, like that played like a movie in my head. I had like a 1-page outline, like not even just like a small like list of things I wanted to happen, and that book was the easiest to edit, like great. But I have this other book that I've been working on, 2 of them actually, where I need like a super structured outline. Otherwise, I know I'm going to write myself into a hole. And it's just like, how can one book be so different than the other book? And then like the trying to find the outlining thing that works best for the book you're writing might be different for the next book you write. Like it's just this
Is
great
it different
experiment.
genres? The 2 books in question, they're different genres or the same genre?
Same genre, just
Even within the same,
bigger
I find that
story.
interesting because
Bigger
you figure
story.
like the structure of the genre would maybe like need more work on this side and
Yeah.
not so much on
like,
that other one, but yeah.
The idea of trying to outline a fantasy story or sci-fi like absolutely terrifies me. I don't write fantasy or sci-fi, and not to say I won't in the future, but like, man, like that is so much to handle and juggle. Whereas I'm like, okay, I'm writing a story set on Earth where people know what Earth is, and I don't have to create this whole new world. Like, yeah, I don't know, just crazy. But it's this great experiment, and that's why I love watching what people do for their outlining, because it gives me inspiration and things to try, because some of these books where I'm like, it's such a great idea, I don't know how to break it down so it's writable,
What about like story bibles or whatever? Like, do you guys go that far? Do you do that where you have like character profiles and like you have scribbles and drawings all in a like? Do you do anything like that? Because I've tried different variations of it and I never get very far with it.
Yeah, no, I just
Every
like
single-
literally a pad and a
Just
pen,
paper.
and I just write. Yeah.
Probably the best way to go, Martin.
Every single time I think I'm going to keep a document with what everyone looks like, what their eye colors are, what they're wearing, and nah.
Yeah, same. I
know
always
you.
start it, but I never finish it.
Well, and I think part of it is just my writing style in the sense of, well, I mostly write short fiction, so it's easy to go back and look. But for the longer stuff, I under-describe a lot of my characters, and I don't know if that's like an intentional thing, so I can, not have to worry about it, or if I do it intentionally so anyone can kind of envision themselves as the character. I don't know. But I'm in Martin's boat where I great best laid plans that end with a blank document. So
Yeah.
my series Bible is a blank notebook.
Yeah, Maggie says, I have a massive world builds, which means I can have looser outlines. I do find that sometimes with mine. I put so much work into like creating the sandbox that then I can just play in the sandbox. I don't have to worry too much about where I'm going with it. It's interesting. But I go so far as to even create slang and holidays and such. World building, man.
Some people argue that having too detailed of an outline takes the magic of drafting away from it, which I can kind of understand.
Especially
So,
for pantsers, like that thought is just terrifying.
Yeah, so it's like I kind of describe it as like create like a fence for yourself so you don't accidentally walk off a cliff with it, but make it a really big fence and you can like change it and make it smaller, change the shape of it. I don't know.
It's a really great way to put it. You should be a writer.
Oh my goodness.
That's a really great way to put it. A fence so that you don't fall off a cliff. Yes, because that's what it is for me, right? It's like just structure to like bounce off of and stay inside the lines.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys do like reverse outlines partway through? So I find in even my nonfiction stuff, I write stuff and then I'm like, ooh, this bit needs a bit of fleshing out earlier.
Oh, meaning like going back to the outline when you're writing. Yes, I do that. I do that because since my outlines tend to be so loose, I consider myself, the gardener writer, right? Where I know where I'm going with it ultimately, but along the way, I smell the roses and let things happen with the characters. And so if something happens during the writing that I like and I know I'm going to keep, I'll go back into the outline, I'll put it in there, and I'll rework the around areas so that it gels. And then I'll use that to, brush up the novel later during editing. Yeah, definitely. Anybody else? My sketches of creatures will never be seen by a
I do make sure that I write down like eye color and height and things, and I have that clear. Because with a romance, obviously, you've got the hero and heroine, and you're hoping that they get quite close together. And there is a lot of gazing into each other's eyes, and a lot of either looking up or looking down. So I like to make sure that I have an idea of heights and eye color and stuff like that.
I cast actors.
Oh.
Yeah. That's a good way to do it. Keep a clear image in your head, right?
What actor then plays? I'm trying to think of the main guy's name. It's something beginning with F. And I'm completely.
Franklin.
And Martin's letting me founder here. You know the name of your own main character.
Franklin.
I just said it out loud.
He said Franklin.
Okay, Franklin. Cool. So what actor is Franklin in your mind?
Doesn't remember now.
Well, no. So there's the question of who he is in my mind and who he is in Malcolm's mind, and they don't quite line up.
But you picture an actor, so who do you picture? Don't speak.
Malcolm envisioned him as a Welsh bloke who played one of the hobbits in the Hobbits, not in the good films. Yeah, quite right. I obviously picture a young Bogart.
Humphrey Bogart.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going with yours.
He's running a bar. His ex-wife walks in. It's Casablanca. I never pretended it wasn't Casablanca.
Yeah.
I had a blank slate. No idea what I was going to write. I'm going to write Casablanca.
He said blank slate.
What?
Okay. Casablanca. Never mind.
Oh.
Okay.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good, Adrian.
I thought you meant it was a swear in Florida and
No.
you were giggling.
That's a bad joke. That's a bad joke.
It's my show.
It's been a long day.
I do actually have a question for
Frankie,
Andy.
my dear, I don't give a damn.
That's gone with the wind.
Nice pull. Andy, what's your question?
The question is basically how do you, so if you're casting actors, let's say your characters were mentally unstable, psychotic or whatever, you know, like how would you then cast those? Because then the emotional and mental side is more important to me, well, maybe for my story, than the physical appearance. So the physical appearance, obviously, it's not too difficult. If you have like an actor's picture or somewhere, it's fine. But how about the mental and emotional bits? How do you track those? Because I'm getting into the thriller niche where I plan to introduce quite a lot of mental and emotional instability, which adds to the stories, right? So, what do you guys suggest?
To be honest, for me, I do kind of pick actors in my head for their physical appearances, but when it comes to keeping track of the emotional core of the character, I may not be real big into astrology myself, but I use it as a character building tool. I'll just have like all the different signs and detailed descriptions of each one, and I have assigned a sign to each character. And anytime I'm in doubt about what a character might do or say in a certain situation, I might go back to that, consult it, like what kind of a character is this again? Who are they in their core? Grab that again and go back into writing it. So I don't let the actor dictate the emotional side. The actor's just a face for me. The emotional side comes more from personality charts and traits and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's more about not writing a load of descriptions on a page, but having a picture, and then when you need to describe them again, looking at the picture and being consistent.
The picture's easy to find because exactly.
But sure, overcomplicate it to the point that it isn't actually usable. You do
Yeah,
you.
I'm gonna have to do story bible for every character that I introduce now.
Well, actually, we had
that does sound like you.
We had Eloise mention that she uses Milanote. I have a it has a free tier membership. You can go and check it out for free and have a certain number of like cards that you can play with, and it's
Is that
really
the note-taking app designed for hat makers?
I don't know if that's what it is. I know that it's used by creative people to organize their creative projects, whether it's a novel or anything else. So you can put in pictures and videos and notes and you can move them around like a bulletin board, and you can make connections, and it's just a way to like visually see your project and at any point go into it, and you have folders so like you can go into the characters and stuff like that. I do find it very useful, but in order for it to be useful enough for me to use, I would need to like pay a good amount of money to have more access to more cards because I write big, gigantic, ridiculous books. So. Do you guys hear that door open?
No.
Yeah.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Children. Get ready, Bethany. It's coming.
I just gotta keep her alive for now.
Yeah, I see.
And then they leave you. Bethany, make the most of it. Then they just leave you. They just move out and leave you.
She's gonna be little forever, right?
Yes. No,
Nope.
Bethany is in the new baby stage. Don't ruin it for her, Emma. Let her have her rose-colored glasses on. It's gonna be wonderful. No,
good.
I miss when they're babies, we complain about how much work they are, and they are so much work. But I do sometimes miss when they were babies and just want them because you can just hold them and just
yes, they're so squishy.
It's the best. Oh, dude, grabbing a little arm in your hand and like squishing it is the best.
So
it's like
fun.
a stress ball. It's like a stress ball. It's fantastic. Little roly-poly legs, just squish them.
Yes. So good. All the chins. I love it so much. But
All the chins. All the many chins.
yes.
Love it. Okay. What was Psycho in Space? Something was Psycho in Space? I've missed something.
Sunshine. It was terrible.
No, that was
Adrian, I'll fight you.
Dude, like I'm not saying it's a masterpiece. You don't have to I don't have to fight you. But I like it. I like Sunshine. I
We've
think
had
that
this
people
argument before.
just find the twist kind of not the twist, but there's a shift in tone in the third act, and I think people find it very jarring, and it ruins the rest of the movie for them. But it's a very good movie.
I was gonna say, I don't know, like Pitch Black. Maybe that's a bit running around spaceships being stabby.
Yeah, that's quite
Or
stabby.
Event
I'm just
Horizon.
wondering if Martin can do this with like every film. If I give him any film and say, what's its version in space? Like Finding Nemo. What's Finding Nemo in space? And just, is this your skill?
Martin has this. He is very gifted with this. So yeah, Finding Nemo.
I mean,
instead.
technically, Star Trek: The Motion Picture, that was kind of the child finding the parent.
Where's the fish? There's no
The
fishes.
space probe was the fish.
Your dog's gonna
It's a
eat your
bit hard
baby.
skill.
Or just lie on it.
Yeah, just wants to hang. I got both my babies, my little first baby and my second baby.
Dog is like that baby. Like,
Fine. We are busy over here, but it's good.
Busy's good. Busy keeps you happy. Shall we do another set of sprints?
Yeah.
Sure.
Another 15er, or you guys want to do a 20-minute one?
Up to you.
You're
I'll
the
go
boss.
the majority.
Am I
It's
the
your channel.
boss?
It's your channel.
Am I the
Yeah.
boss?
You hold the power.
That's Twinkle
him.
Pearl, by the way, in case you can hear it.
Oh, hi, Twinkle.
Yeah.
All right. Let's make sure we can all be seen. Whoa. Fantastic. All right, y'all. Let's go. All right. How'd that one go for everybody? Sound off.
Not so good. I didn't get much done.
I made
got a lot done.
popcorn and I tried dictation. And yeah, I'm going to need to do more research on dictation because, man, I don't know if it's worth it because I feel like I'm going to spend just as much time fixing all the typos and punctuation.
There's ways around that now.
I'm going to have to pick your brain.
Yeah, Martin definitely swears by it. I have trouble with it just because I when I'm writing, whether by hand or typing, I have the time to like structure my thoughts together. I can make it sound like I know what I'm doing, but to just dictate it out loud, like it would sound like madness. I'd be all over the place. I would be jumping around in time, and like,
See,
oh, I
that's
forgot.
exactly the reason it works for me.
Really?
The
Explain.
train is moving. You can't pick the perfect word. You got to find the next one quickly.
I like that analogy a lot.
Crazy.
No, I mean, like, it was good because I knew what I needed to happen in the scene. I had a plan in my head, so I was just talking it out. But to be fair, I was doing it on Google Docs. I didn't use like an actual true dictation software, so I'll have to like find one that actually works for me because now I'm
hearing
like,
a lot of good things.
I thought the
I'm
baby
hearing
was
a
back.
lot. So did I. It was terrifying.
Oh, sorry. No, she's here. He's fine.
That's like that old stuntman trick where they have the stuntman do a big fall and then go out of screen and then the star pops up in the foreground.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, no, she's fine.
Yeah, I'm hearing really good things about Word 365's transcription feature. People are saying that's on par with Dragon.
All right. We'll give it a shot. Yeah.
I like the analogy of the train is moving. It's like you're on a treadmill. You just got to keep going forward. That could work.
How about everybody else? What'd you get done?
I talked to my kids about whether they wanted to go and walk alpacas. And they are debating because it's kind of expensive, but it's also kind of cool. And that was what I spent most of the sprint doing.
Walk alpacas.
Yeah, you go to this farm and you get to go on a walk with alpacas and you have them like on a rein and you walk around with them and feed them and stuff.
That's pretty cool.
I was like, that sounds amazing. Why wouldn't you want to do that?
Couldn't you just do a similar thing with your pets and have people pay you to lead them on a walk and profit?
My dogs are already local celebrities. I think everybody's like probably had enough of them by now. I'm not sure anybody would actually.
They're international. They're international celebrities. Even I know your dog.
International celebrities, yeah.
That's funny.
Internationals.
I grew up on a farm with alpacas and llamas, so I'm like, just another day.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they showed up at our wedding. They weren't supposed to be in the field because they got married on my parents' property. But someone let them out. I think it was my brother. So just had alpacas in one of the fields just hanging out.
That's fun.
Yeah, we don't have any alpacas here. Our house is obviously rubbish.
Clearly you do. You just said there was a place you can go.
True.
Yeah, but I have to go to it. It's not like I just go out into my back garden and I'm like, come here.
Well, yeah, that's
alpacas,
true for most things, though. Like, I don't just have steaks in my back garden. I got to go to the grocery store to get them. You got to go to where the thing is to see the thing.
That's what I'm saying. Bethany had that. So awkward, honestly.
No, I as a kid in Puerto Rico, everybody had chickens, roosters.
I'm so sad you didn't say alpacas.
No.
No.
There was a little old lady across the street that used to take care of me when my folks were working, and they had chickens, they had bunnies, they had parrots, they had a whole bunch of stuff, and a huge property on the backyard where everything just kind of ran around like crazy, and all of those seem like normal animals to have. Alpaca seems quite exotic.
That's
You know,
special.
yeah, you don't
That's
just
special.
hear it all the time. Like, oh yeah, I had alpacas growing up. That's kind of unique. You hear pony
Yeah,
more
like
than you hear alpaca.
yeah. I mean, when we lived on a farm for 3 years, and we used to go for walks with this goat who used to like to escape from its enclosure, and we'd, rescue lambs that got away from their mothers and had to be put back in the fields and things, but nothing as cool as alpacas.
Was his name Vincent Van Gogh?
Vincent Van.
No, he was called Houdini because he was an
Ah.
escape artist.
Oh,
Fair enough.
There's an actual alpaca farm like 45 minutes away from where I am, which is like in the rural areas of northern Ontario. So yeah, that's interesting actually.
You
Well,
guys
apparently
should
they can
both
be
go there
cantankerous.
and do a YouTube collab.
Just go live at the
That
same
would be
time
amazing.
to different alpaca farms.
I'll be like, oh, this,
Five
With
ways
alpacas.
alpacas will improve your writing. Number 4 will blow your mind.
I'll just,
I would do that. I would completely do that. That would be amazing.
I will. And I'll introduce the alpaca as this is what I normally look like on a good day.
No, that's not funny. Yeah, no.
It'll work. It'll work. People will believe it. It's the internet. The internet never lies.
I was having trouble seeing the emoji for a second. I couldn't tell what it was. It's a hat, but I was having trouble figuring out what it was, and it was making this difficult for me to decipher. I got it though. Right on. Okay. So, Miss Emma Bennett, having literally written the book on NaNoWriMo, preparing for NaNoWriMo, winning NaNoWriMo, knowing that we are, most of us here, still outlining and figuring out what we're writing next month, what is some advice that you can throw at us to be prepared for said NaNoWriMo?
That's going to kind of be my video on Friday. My video is going to be last minute things you can do if you haven't had a chance to prepare for NaNoWriMo. But I think the most important thing that you can do is just get yourself kind of in the right mindset, in the right headspace. If you don't have time to kind of plot everything out like you'd like to and do all the research, there's nothing you can do about that if you don't have time, but just make sure that you're kind of feeling good and you've got yourself as well set up as you can for Nano, and fingers crossed.
Interesting.
The great thing to do is to
Yes.
just stupidly front load it. Last year, I got 10,000 words down in the first 48 hours because 40,000 words in 28 days is exponentially more doable than 50,000 in 30.
Yeah, but I couldn't write that much. I know how
Of course
I
you
work,
could.
and
You
there's
just
no
have to
way that I-
believe.
No, it's not a case of
believe.
belief. It's a case of
No,
that's not
you
how I work.
Martin,
You just don't
I
have enough
believe-
alpacas.
no, I believe Martin's gonna be. I believe Martin's gonna be more famous than Elon Musk by tomorrow. So we're gonna time it 24 hours. I believe this. So by tomorrow, Martin's gonna be more famous than Elon Musk.
It
Let's see what
sounds
happens.
like not only do you not believe it, but you don't believe you believe it.
I believe it. I'm all in on this
And
one.
are
I'm
actually
gonna
just
place
saying
bets.
something sarcastic.
I'm gonna play bets on this. Let's see the bookies going. The bookies are listening. You can take odds on this.
I will put you both in timeout if you can't get along. I'll tell you that right now. I'm a
Yeah,
dad.
do it. Do it. Make
You'll
them work
get
together,
heated.
though.
Do you
That's
believe that,
important.
Andy?
I'm gonna back down. I'm gonna
You're
back
good.
down because I don't believe. I don't. It's true. I don't believe Martin's gonna be more famous by tomorrow. But I was willing to do bets on it.
Coming on Poor Agent's channel and encouraging gambling.
No, what's funny about it is I got like I have a schedule in mind in order to achieve the word count that I need next month. But as of a couple of days ago, there is a job offer on the table at a new place, a complete change of career entirely. I'd be learning a whole new business, and So it comes with its risks, but the pay is significantly better, and nothing's set in stone yet. But if it does happen, then I will be doing NaNoWriMo while also changing jobs and starting at a new place of work and not knowing what my schedule is going to be like. And so who knows what's going to happen with all that. So I'm going to take Emma's advice and be as prepared as possible because I don't know, man. Who knows?
Front loading does
You
help.
know,
I
but
agree with Martin
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
But if you can't manage to do it because you've got, you know, a new job that's starting and stuff, like nothing happens. Nothing happens if you don't run NaNoWriMo.
I've just never
That's
done
the thing.
NaNoWriMo before, specifically because I didn't want the pressure of having to do so much in so little time, which is the whole point
Yeah.
of NaNoWriMo. But with the way that I ended up writing, like the second half of my book, like the way that I picked up the pace so much in that one, I really feel like I can do it if I set the time aside. I feel like it's possible. It's so only now am I willing to try. I didn't think it was possible before.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to even waste my time. But now that I want to try, I want to win it. You know, like I know that nothing
Yeah.
happens, but
Yeah, of
if I'm
course.
going to try,
Like,
I want to do it.
yeah, you want to try properly. You want to put effort in. One of the things that I do is I keep my laptop open on the table the whole time with the file open, so that even if I'm kind of doing other things I have to do, I can kind of come to and fro, and I might just sit down and kind of write a few words in between, like while I'm waiting for somebody to get ready to go on a dog walk with me or something, and I've got 2 minutes while I'm waiting, I'll just sit there and I'll like add a little bit, and then while I'm cooking I'll kind of add a little bit, you know, and it adds up. It's not as good as sitting down, you know, and doing proper sprints or whatever, but it can help with the word count.
Well, and the other thing is, like, some people really don't like NaNoWriMo because they're like, oh my gosh, it's too much pressure. But I thrive on that. I would not thrive on that if that was 11 months of the year, but 1 month of the year.
Oh, yeah.
Like, use that energy and just know, like, it's going to feel so good when you hit that goal, or just getting a big chunk of your book done.
Yeah.
And then maybe take a page out of Martin's book and try some dictation out. Who knows?
Yeah.
Definitely an opportunity to try some new techniques and whatnot, like see if something works a lot better. It does harken back to my high school days where the day before a huge project was due, I would just slap it together really great and really fast and get a B plus or an A minus on it. And I know it can be done. I've done that. So I can definitely wrap my head around the whole deadline, like, you know, fueling you to get it done.
Yeah, I'm
Work.
gonna
Do
try
you not
dictating
worry
at
that
some
you
point.
might get something done really quickly and realize you didn't need to spend all that time on MYTHIC?
How dare you? How dare you? I've already realized that. I realized that halfway through it. I definitely sped up. I'm sorry, Andy. What were you saying? We keep talking over you, but
I was gonna say I'm gonna try dictation at some point. I don't know if it's gonna work for me, but it's one of those things you have to try it. You know, it doesn't matter if it doesn't work. What if it does work? You know, the potential is there. You got to give it a good go. So I'm gonna try that at some point.
the kind of word counts that Martin gets, it's worth the
Exactly.
try, man. It's worth the try. But,
I turn on my laptop and then he's like, "Oh, you awake yet? I've already got 50,000 words in. Where are you at?"
dude, I get so excited when I tell him like, "Oh man, I sat down for a little while. I got a good 300 words," and he's like,
Yeah,
"2K."
he's very gracious about it though. He's like, "Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah." And then you ask him, "How did you do?"
No,
And he's
he's
like,
really
"Oh
mean
yeah,
to me.
I did all right. I did like 50,000."
Yeah, he's real polite with you. He's mean to me. He like really rubs it in my face.
He's got his moments.
There's a real like nanner kind of thing going on, you know.
Yeah, before we came live here, he was saying I'm just like some internet loser, you know. So exactly, I totally know what you mean.
Yeah. That's how he shows his love. He's just a dick in private.
No, it's okay. We love Martin. Lovely Martin.
He's
That's
the best. I love having him on.
lovely Martin.
Can't tell if he's frozen or not.
I don't know. He hasn't moved a muscle. I'm trying to gauge his reaction.
He's trying to figure out if he's going to put your
And he
books on the
moved.
shelf now.
Yeah, man. Like, dude, you're giving us nothing here.
Those are books.
He's going to put your
The
book on
shelves
the
are
shelf.
Adrian,
really
you've read
good.
Why the Last Man.
I have read why. Well, yes, I've read the first few volumes of it. I haven't read the entire series though. I don't know how it ends.
Oh, what?
Very interesting to see.
Oh,
I know.
I could
I got to
tell
go
you
back
right
and
now
finish
because
it.
it's right there.
You can,
But
you can tell me, Martin.
Yeah.
I'm very happy about this though. You remember I told you that I had read a lot of Saga but never finished it. I always
Yeah.
rented them from the library, but I have been
Hmm.
purchasing the trade paperbacks in order, and I am up
Nice.
to number 3. Volume 3? Yeah, volume 3. No, I just got volume 4. Yeah, I just got volume 4. I haven't started reading them again, but I will
Saga is
be.
so good.
And I'm very excited because it's right up my alley. That whole like it's very very sci-fi and very very fantasy, and very unapologetic about being both at the same time. It just
I,
does really crazy stuff.
I remember the first time we did a podcast or whatever this is together, and I was just like, "Yeah, and you're inspired by Saga, aren't you?" Because I know we talked about it, I knew you liked it, and you just went, "No."
Well, I don't think about it when I'm writing. I haven't read the whole thing. I enjoy it very much. I can't wait to read it again. I didn't consider it an influence necessarily, but maybe you're right. Maybe it's maybe that's where part of my whole like genre bendy thing comes from. Because all kinds of stories in those pages. But then I would point more to Sandman than Saga because I read Sandman religiously over and over and over. I'm never not reading Sandman really, so that's
I
way
hate
more
to
of
say
an
it, but
influence.
I wish I liked Sandman more than I do. I can never quite get into it.
It's
Like
not for
there's some
everybody.
bits of it. There's
It's
some
pretty weird.
bits I really like, and then other bits that just it really riles against me.
Well, that's part of the magic of that series. It takes place in the dream world, and everybody's dreams can be different from one dream to the next. Not just from one person to the next, but from one dream to the next. So every issue is wildly different from the other one, and some you're going to gel with, and some you're not. And yeah, that makes sense. Especially when it goes like real hardcore horror. I don't know. Uh, I feel like
Not even
nobody
the
else has
horror. It
read
goes quite
Sandman, so I
social
feel like we're
realism. It feels
alienating
like
everybody. I'm sorry.
I've read some of it. I've read some of it.
I'm a fan. I've got the entire series right here. I just don't want to pull them out because I already pulled out too many books. One final sprint to end the show.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, no.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I don't mind. I'm neutral. I don't want to disagree with Martin, and I don't want to disagree with Emma either.
Look,
Andy,
what's going to
you
be
are
worse, disagreeing
Switzerland
with me or
personified.
Martin?
I feel like I might get into a poo sandwich of sorts if I disagree with either.
All right. Let's what time is it? It's 5:30. So we got time for another 20-minute one, or do you guys want to do a shorter 15? What do you think?
Shorter.
Shorter it is. Martin has spoken and Martin knows all. Here we go.
I'm putting that on the cover quote of my next book.
Please do. Feel free to quote anything I say about you. That's perfectly fine. All right. We're good here. Let's go. All right. Wonderful. Welcome back, everybody. There's a baby. I can't believe Bethany had a surprise baby.
Surprise! It's kind
That
of a
was
surprise for
amazing.
everyone.
Good grief. I had no idea. So that, like, all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, there's a baby right there. That's crazy. Go, Bethany. Look at her. She's so cute. Look at the cheeks. She's already got cheekies.
I know, she's a big girl. Sorry, there's a garbage truck.
No worries. All right. How did everybody do on that last sprint?
Not too bad. Not too bad. I got like another scene kind of sorted out.
Cool, cool,
Nice. I read a few pages of a book I'm reading, so that's what I did.
Reading is part of writing.
I stayed awake.
That's all you did?
Look at that, Martin.
Hey.
Look at that Olympic champion right there. I stayed awake, bro.
The whole 15 minutes.
What time is it over there?
He really is a role model. I look up to him very much.
It's like
4 to
10 o'clock.
11.
What is 11?
Inspirational.
Oh, 11.
Wow, you night owls, you.
Emma's up for a long time. Well, Martin, you got work tomorrow, so fair enough. You know, you gotta.
I mean, I usually go to bed around midnight, maybe occasionally 1 a.m.
Doesn't Emma have work tomorrow?
Yeah. No. Who
You
didn't
work
employ
every
me?
day. Yourself. You work for yourself.
Yeah. Actually, I do have work tomorrow. I have my writing class, but it's not early.
Oh, fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I updated Word, so I'm gonna try dictation. I'm excited about it. We'll see what happens.
Oh, cool.
Maggie, in response to our conversation about sci-fi fantasy, I think it also for me comes from a lot of Neil Gaiman stuff, where his fantasy, particularly the ones that take place in our world, like Neverwhere, for example, or the Graveyard Book, you know, very, very much so fantasy. American Gods is a great example where it's definitely fantasy. There's magic, there's gods, there's all kinds of, but it's so subtle and it's played straight. It's played like it's normal, like it's a part of life and not at all spectacular. It's just kind of matter of fact. And there's something about that I really enjoy. And I think that's part of where it comes from for me, of mixing the genres together like that and just acting like they belong together, you know? Emma does do a lot of work. She does indeed. Guys, thank you all for coming. Thank you for being here. I love it when you guys are so supportive to show up last minute like that. A guest canceling on me can feel very frustrating in the moment, and then something wonderful happens. Thank you guys so very much. This was great. I will go counterclockwise and give everybody a chance to say goodbye and where to find you and speak out your links and stuff because we don't have them.
Hi, I'm Andy. Thank you very much for having me, Adrian, and everyone on the panel today. Really appreciate it. You can check out my YouTube channel. I share stuff about self-publishing and my experiences. I am transitioning to hopefully writing some fiction in the future. So if you'd like to follow my journey, feel free to come and check my channel out.
All right. Thank you very much, Andy. Emma.
Hey, I'm Emma. I have a YouTube channel that you can check out. It's called Emma Bennett something, but it will show up if you just put in Emma Bennett. I write contemporary romance generally, but I also have this book out at the moment. It is called Write, Eat, Sleep, Repeat, and it is a guide to winning NaNoWriMo, so it's rather handy at this time of the year. It's available on Amazon as both an ebook and a paperback at the moment.
Beautiful. I really can't wait to read that. Bethany and Baby.
Yes, I'm Bethany Vota. I write short story collections and mystery thrillers. I'll put my link tree in the chat. You can check out my stuff there. Sign up for my newsletter for some fun updates and freebies coming your way. And then I have some really good deals on Ko-fi, however we pronounce it, because we are tired of Amazon acting like Amazon. So I'm trying to find a workaround. Let's see if this one works.
Amazon gonna Amazon.
It's gonna do it.
Martin.
I'm Martin. I'm one half of the author partnership, Bradley Lejeune. Check out the McMurdo Rift on the aforementioned Amazon. And keep an eye out for new and exciting series coming in the new year with spaceships.
Gotta love spaceships. And I am Adrian Santiago. I wrote Mythic Shadow of the Spark and The Death and Rebirth of Bella Erdman. I'm currently working on a short story collection that I plan to have out early next year, and it will bridge the gap a little bit for you guys as readers between novels. And then after that, I get to work on The Face of Gaia, which is the next book. All available wide, including Amazon, but also Barnes & Noble and Books A Million and libraries and all kinds of good stuff like that. I also have signed and or personalized copies available through my Ko-fi or Ko-fi, or however we say it. All of my links are available below right now. For those of you on the replay, all of these people's links will also be available down below, because I'm going to get on that as soon as we get off of this. Thank you guys so very much for being here. I am going to have my people back. Hi. I forgot that it was me, my fat head on the screen. Hi. Thank you guys so much. Right on, writers. We out.
Thank you, Adrian.
Thanks, Adrian.